Hi everyone, it is Teresa from Teresa Silhouette Spot for all things art. I actually have a lag, so this might be a little difficult for me. Let's see if it catches up. I'm checking, we'll see. So if you come on, say hi, let me know where you're from. It's very hard for me to see comments, but I'm going to paint. And I'm doing this is going to be children's. I'm on 11 by 14 canvas. And I'm doing like a spaceship design. So if you come on, let me know you're here. I'm gonna get my paint out. So I put a list in there of the colors you needed: a light and a dark blue, two different greens. I don't know if I put purple. I might have put purple. Purple, white, black, orange. So we're gonna get started. I'm gonna get started with the background. And because it's a rocket and in the sky at night, we're going to use some dark blues. A couple different colors. And I'm going to apply this with a sponge. It's going to be crazy. This lag is going to make me nuts. But we'll see. I'm going to hang in there. I think it's easier than going out and coming back in. I just want to check something. Okay, switch to my overhead, and that's where we're going to stay while we get started. So, like I said, I have an 11, oh, I don't have to do that. I have an 11 by 14 canvas, and I put out two different colors of blue on my plate, and I'm going to pick up with a sponge. And so, I want to get both colors on the sponge. Okay? And then we're just going to do some swirling. It's all right if some of the white shows through because white's a color. It just adds more dimension to your project. I know what I think I'm going to add. I have this color. It's Midnight. It's a very, very, very dark navy. It's almost black. I'm going to add a drop of this on my paint palette. It's very, very deep blue color. And I just want to see how dark that is. I like that. If you don't have another dark, dark blue, you can use black. We don't want to put it on too heavy because we want this to dry. We can move on to the rest of our project. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Are we getting our schoolwork done? Are we reading? Are we doing what we're supposed to be doing? And it's hard, right? It's hard when everybody's schedule is all jumbled up. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my sponge in water now. Otherwise, the sponge gets nasty. And I'm going to let my base dry a little bit, my base coat, while say hi. Going back. Oh, good. I'm not lagged anymore, so this will be good. Now I can see what I'm doing while I'm saying that I'm doing it because before it wasn't matching up, and now it is. So anyway, we're doing a rocket ship tonight and some planets. I hope everyone's having a good night. That one behind me, that was a little inspirational art I did last week. You could look for the video down below. It was another live tutorial. I did that one last week, and I did the bunny. Did you guys catch my bunny last week? Let me show you. If you missed it, this free bunny is also on the website. Not the website, I apologize. On my Facebook page if you scroll down or look in the video section on the left. And then this Hope is the anchor of my soul. A little inspiration art, painted prayer that I did last week with actually what people might consider trash laying around. I'm just waiting for the base coat to dry while we chit chat. So I don't know that I'm considered essential, but I've been going to work, so my schedule hasn't really changed that much. My husband and I are both working, and so that's it. I will say the traffic, if you live on Long Island or you know New York traffic has been very light. Not um gone, but very light. So there are still people doing certain things and going wherever they're going and whatever. So I'm just waiting for this to dry. I'm going to give it a little. Ordinarily, I would use a blow dryer, but I don't think you guys want to hear the blow dryer. And then once this is dry, I'm going to show you how we're going to add. I cut out this little star. I'm going to trace this on, and I'm going to use my paint bottles for the circles for my planets. I might even use the bottom of my cup. Whatever round thing, objects you have, you want different sizes, and that's what I'm going to trace for my circles. That's my lighting tonight. I hope you guys can see. Oh yeah, and it is pretty much almost dry. So I'm going to switch my view again. I'll come down here to this. We're on the live. Okay. I'm gonna watch here. So, okay. Now we have, see it's dry, I'm touching it. We have our base paint down. I used a few different colors of blue and a very dark one. Like I said, if you want to use a little bit of black, you can. Now I'm going to take a piece of chalk. It's a regular piece of chalk. You can use a pencil. You can use paint. Whatever it is that you want to trace on your planets and to put your rocket ship on. I'll show you how we're going to do that. That one. I'm going to use my cup for this one. A little bit bigger. And when you're all done, the paint will cover the chalk, or you can just go and brush the chalk right off. And then we're going to do a little tiny one. Kind of small to use the, no, maybe I'll use it, the bottom of the paint. And you can place your planets wherever you like. And then, oh, what did I do with my star? Okay. Then I'm going to take my star and I'm going to trace this on in a few different places. You can freehand your star if you want. Use a stencil if you want. I'm just going to do it like that. And this one, I'm going to make it halfway off, and I'm going to actually make it a little bigger. See that? And then obviously this big part is going to be my rocket. And I'll show you how we're going to do that. I'm going to start on the bottom. I am looking at a picture. So we're going to start on the bottom. Almost like a square, or actually a rectangle, but we're pulling the sides in a little bit. And then we want to go up to about here. We're going to curve the sides. I put a point there so we know where we're going, curving the sides. So there's the base of our rocket. And we're going to have, I don't know what they're called, but the two parts that come out on the sides. Oh, I may have to move this. No, I think it's okay. The rocket. Okay. Then our rocket needs a nose, needs a window. I'm going to put a little design here. And then it's going to have some flames, but I'm just drawing these placement right now, like triangle things. And now we can get started painting. So I have my purple. This is called Perfect Purple. And you just need a little bit of each paint. Put purple out. I'm going to put some light green out for one of the planets. Excuse me while I tap my paint. This one's almost out. What else? And orange. I'm going to make one of our planets orange. So we're going to have a purple, an orange, and a green planet. And we're going to use 2 different colors for our planets. So that's it. I'm just going to put out a little, I'll show you my plate. That's all you need. A little dot of each color. And I'm going to get a flat brush. This one is a number 12 flat brush. I always have my paper towels handy. I'm going to dip in the water. I'm going to dry my brush off. And then I'm going to start filling in my planets. Because we have such a dark background, we may need to do 2 coats. This video is going to stay on the Facebook page. You can watch it another day and wait till you have some supplies available and paint it. You can make your planets any color that you want. It's up to you. These are the colors I picked. But you can pick any colors that you want. Your project. I'm actually going to do my rocket white. But if you want your rocket red, black, or silver, that's up to you. Art can't be wrong. And everyone sees things differently, and everyone has different colors and that they like better than others. That's it. I'm just base coating in. I keep washing my brush in between each of the colors. And I'm base coating in my planets. Who's doing Zoom classes with their teacher and their classmates? Anyone here? Funny, I've been using Zoom quite some time now. I take my paint classes because I still take paint lessons. I still paint with 2 of my painting instructors, and they teach painting over Zoom. So I've been learning on Zoom long before you guys started staying home from school and learning on Zoom. Isn't that funny? I'm adding now my white for the rocket. Like I said, because our background is so dark, it is the night sky, everything is probably going to need 2 coats. I don't know if you remember from last week, I said when I paint like I color, and believe it or not, I still like to color. And that is to do the outline first. You don't have to do that. You can do it however you want, but I like to outline my shapes first when I paint and then fill them in. Now this rocket is going to be red and white and blue. So we're going to have to make sure that our white is very, very dry before we start adding the red, or we're going to end up with pink. It's okay to have pink. You might want a pink rocket. I don't want a pink rocket. So I'm going to be very sure that my white is dry before I start adding my red. How many times everybody watching Frozen 2? I heard there were people who watched Frozen more than twice a day. When my kids were little, Lion King was very popular, and we watched Lion King every day. I think if I remember right, it was like a little over an hour long, and that was my break time. I'm going to go back and do my second coat. I lower you guys a little bit. I think that'll work better. 1 second. I'm going to lower the camera a little bit. How's that? Is that a little better? I still have a glare. Anyway, I'm going in and I'm doing my second coat. Now you won't really see any of the blue underneath. You can if you want. Just adds a little texture. I want my planets, this part of my planets anyway, nice and solid. Hope you can see I keep rinsing my brush between all the colors. I always have a cup of water handy and paper towels in case I spill, and also to dry off my brush with. I always rinse it in water. I put it in here like a sandwich and then pull. And it's ready for the next color. I would love to see what you guys paint. So if you want to put it on the page, that would be great to share your paintings with us and my followers. Also, if you want to know the next time I'm going live, if you look up on the Facebook page, in the top corner, next to my name in the right of this window, is 3 tiny little gray dots. If you click on those 3 dots, it will tell you there's a spot to be notified the next time I go live. I'm not always painting, but you could still be notified, and if I'm painting, you can hang out and watch, you can paint with me, or you can always come back and watch it when you feel like. You can even get together with friends virtually and have a watch party and paint this at the same time. And you can paint it on paper, you can paint it on cardboard, you can paint it on the inside of a pizza box if that's what you happen to have around. The pizza box from takeout the other night. Cardboard from the pizza box can be used for a lot of things. You don't have to have these colors. You don't have to have a canvas board like I have. It's just about, chilling, having some fun, doing a little artwork. I'm gonna have a sip of water. Okay, so there's my base coats of my planets. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to base coat I'm waiting for my white to dry. I'm going to do my stars. Fresh bottle of paint. I'm going to go in and, like I said, see, I'm not even using that much paint. Now I'm base coating my stars. And I waited to make the stars last, so I was extra positive that my blue was dry. I don't know if you guys learned this or not in art yet, but blue and yellow make green. And so if my blue wasn't absolutely dry, I would have ended up with green stars when my yellow picked up the blue paint. And you may want green stars, but I don't. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below, and I will come back later on when we're all done and answer those questions for you. If you want to know where I get my supplies, where I'm getting my supplies these days, if you have something in mind you would like me to paint, if I can paint it, I will. I don't like how that a little bit. See how easy that was? If I can paint it, I will. So we need a second coat of that as well, but I'm going to move on. I think I can move on to my red now. I'll just have to be real careful around the white down here. I use folk art paint, but you guys can use apple barrel, deco art. There's something called craft something. I forget the name of it, but whatever. As long as it's acrylic paint means it is, you can clean it up with water. So as long as you're using acrylic paint, it dries quickly and it cleans up with soap and water. And if you get it on the floor, the rug, the counter, whatever it is, as long as it's still wet, it is quite easy to clean up. So you won't get in trouble. Just to have to tell someone right away that you spilled the paint and it needs to be cleaned up. Otherwise, it will be an issue. Oh, got a little orange on there. I have to clean that off. I'm going to show you how I can get rid of that. So that was a mistake, but a happy mistake. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to get that little spot of orange off. I don't even know where it came from. You can wait for it to completely dry and paint over it. Because you can paint over. Once paint has dried, you can paint over it, change the color, fix whatever it is you're not extremely happy with, whatever you want to do. Or, in this case, with these folk art paints, because they have a built-in sealer, I can dip in a little bit of water on my paper towel, and I can go over here and wash it right off. It actually even took the blue off a little bit too, but I'm not going to worry about that because you can see my background is very colorful with the different blues and the whites. Now I have my red on my brush. I'm going to pick up some of the orange and I'm going to do bottom of the rocket. Make it look like it's flames shooting out the bottom. Wipe that off. I'm going to go in and add this red part. And it's okay to jump around. We're jumping around while we waited for our other coats of paint to dry. Right? It's a cute project. You guys like it? If you paint it, I'd love to see it. Oh, I did make a little pink there, but that's okay. We're going to go back and do a second coat. Now I'm going to go in. I'm going to do the second coat of my stars. A little more yellow. And if you notice, I'm doing all of this with the same brush. Rinsing out as I change colors. Oh, can you hear my computer? So I don't know if my live is still going on because I just switched to look at it. So if it's not, we will post this video. You guys will still have it to see. If it is, that's great. Hey! I'm going to do my second coat of red. And then we're going to go in and we're going to add our details. And that's when this is really going to come together and start looking like something. Art is a process. You don't want to judge it until the very end because you'll be amazed how it goes from maybe something you're not really in love with to at the end being like, holy moly, did I just paint that? Look at this. So I tell everyone, don't judge your painting or your neighbor's painting until we add all the finishing touches. The nose, but this part of the rocket's called the nose. That's about as technical with rockets as I get. Okay. That's looking pretty good so far, huh? I'm sorry for the glare from my big head. I have to figure out what I'm going to do with that. Although I am making little changes in my studio. That may not be an issue in the near future. Okay? Now, we're going to go in and add a little depth and dimension to our planets. So I just have paint on the corner of the brush and we're just going in and basically adding what could be only assumed to be water or land, mountain areas on these planets, because, you know, it's all make believe. We just want to make it look like there's something on this besides the plain old orange background. And I'm not even just adding these tiny little squigglies and shapes. No rhyme or reason to it. Just adding little red paint. And I'm going to do the same thing with our green. I need a dark green now. And do the same thing up here on the green planet. I'm just putting these little abstract, different colored masses, yes, designs, whatever you want to call it, onto our planet. Big, some are small. And then on the purple, I'm going to add a little light purple. And I'm going to do that by mixing. I'm just going to add a little bit of white to my purple. And I'm going to do the same thing, the purple. Sometimes I use the corner of the brush. Like I said, don't worry about the chalk. When your painting is completely dry, if you haven't gone over all the chalk lines, see how I have some chalk out there? You can wipe it right off with your hands, or a little bit, a damp paper towel, not a real wet paper towel, but a damp paper towel, and it'll come right off. Okay, what do you guys think so far? We have our planets and most of our spaceship. So we're going to go in and we're going to finish our spaceship now. I need a light blue. Grab a different color blue up here. We need light blue for our window. I'm going to go in, fill my circle with light blue. Once we get to the liner brush, you guys, we start adding all our details. You're going to see how really cool it's going to come together. So we basically used 2, 4, 6, 8 colors. I'm putting out some of one of the original blues that we used when we did our background with the sponge. Fill in these areas. Stripes down here. Add a little bit in here. Outline everything. That. Put a little blue around your window. Highlight a little bit. I'm going to go in and add a little bit more red. See how my rocket, the fire from the bottom? I'm going to go in. I'm going to get a little bit of red paint. And I'm just going to add a little bit more of my fresh red in here. Blend these strokes up. Because I want the red to really stand out. More so than the orange. That's just me. Oh, and I see that I didn't go over these twice. The little design here on my rocket ship. me get some more red. I can't wait to see if this is actually live or not. Okay, now we're gonna move on to our liner brush and add shade and accent to everything. And we're gonna start with our stars. We're only going to outline some of our stars in the dark where it's shady. And then some of it is going to get white highlights where less shade. The parts that are facing up into the sky, that's where we're going to make it dark. And then the parts that are down, maybe they're getting lit from someplace, we're going to add a little white highlight. I have my liner brush, dip in a little white. And we're just going to go around and outline our stars a little bit with the white, just to make them stand out a little bit of a highlight. And do the same thing on our planets, but the planets it's a little bit harder because you have to follow around the circle. You have a little bit of a steady hand, you can use your pinky like this. Same thing over here. Okay, let me make it so you can see it. That would be nice, right? On the bottom, of course, the big orange planet. It doesn't have to be perfect. I had to pick up a little bit more paint. There we go. I'm going to add a little bit outline here. Fix my side a little bit. Oh, I got too fat. That's okay. And the same thing, adding a little bit of light underneath here. Now with the dark side, you could use black. But I'm going to go in, I'm going to use a really, really dark blue. I have what's called, well, this one happens to be Ink Spot, but I have another blue, it's called Midnight. You can use black if you want. I'm going to use this, pretty dark. And on the opposite side of all my shapes, I'm going to go in and add this little shaded lines. So, who has pets at home? I have cats. I have 3 cats actually. Their names are Mandy, Misty, and Tiger Lily. Misty and Tiger Lily are sisters. And then Mandy, the first cat I had, is the oldest one. Right there. Adding a little dark shadow to the opposite sides of my planets. And I'm going to do the same with the stars, but like I said before, I want to make sure my stars are nice and dry because I don't want to add blue to my yellow. I'm going to go over my orange highlights, low lights, a little bit of this blue too. And all I'm going to do now is add a little bit of white to my window. Make like a glare. And that's it. That is our rocket ship painting. Oh, no, it's not. Sorry. I'm going to show you guys a little trick. See this brush? See the end of the brush? I'm going to dip it in my light colors that I have left. And I'm going to add little twinkling stars all over my painting. Did some with the yellow. I'm going to go back and do some with the red. And that's all I'm doing is dipping in the paint with the back of the brush. More red. And adding these little dots. Make them look like twinkling little stars. Simple as that. I can even use a different brush if I wanted to and make bigger ones or smaller ones. I can add purple ones. You're not going to see them as much because it's dark wood and dark blue. I can go in and add orange ones. All I'm doing is using the same colors that we already used and just adding some stars to the painting. If you want them a little bigger, you can use this and make a little circle. Or you can just tap. I'm going to get some white. And now it's it. So I hope you enjoyed this painting. I'm going to switch my camera view. I hope you enjoyed this spaceship and my planet painting. Like I said, if you guys are going to paint it on paper, cardboard, piece of wood. If you have like, leftover wood, if somebody around your home does like DIY, crafty wood stuff, and you have a piece over, whatever it is, make it your own. It's just supposed to be fun. You can hang it in your room, leave it in the kitchen, whatever you want to do. And that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. And stay tuned. Like I said, if you click on those 3 little red dots up there in the Facebook Live, you can get notified next time I go live. and we will do another project. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.